You have to watch the squares and look at the background colours and not the foreground. So you should see letters and words appear. Flight.
Yeah.
So flight in English can mean two different things. It can mean to get away from somebody who's after you, you take flight, or to move through the air or over the land or sea. Flight can be getting off. Off the world, getting off the world. Well, wouldn't it be wonderful if we could fly? Just imagine, flap your arms and stay exactly where you are.
Yeah.
And that thought has fascinated people all down through the ages. You know, it would be a wonderful thing if you could fly, and the freedom that it would give. But immediately you think about flying, you realise that there is something quite powerful that's against you. Powerful downward force. Gravity. Gravity is a powerful downward force that keeps us on the ground. No matter how high you jump, gravity will bring you down. Gravity, you've got a hole in your pocket, your small change will fall through by gravity, you'll lose it. Or should my legs give way now, gravity would take over and down I would go. Gravity is a powerful force, and if you want to fly, you've got to overcome the force of gravity. But the trouble is that something that's always been there, we tend to take for granted. Imagine jumping out of bed in the morning and hitting the ceiling. I mean, and it took an apple to fall on the head of a very intelligent man and to get his great mind thinking about gravity. I'm sure you've heard of him. I'll put his name on the board. Isaac Newton, from the laws that he discovered, you could work out, for example, if you jumped off a 100-foot cliff, how long it would take you to get to the bottom. And indeed, for some of the work that he did, he was knighted with his full title. Sir Isaac Newton. So you could work out, you know, how long it would take you to fall down, but unfortunately that on its own, it tells you what a great force that is, but it doesn't actually help you in terms of what we're interested in is things that perhaps occur in nature that seem to go that way. Because anything that goes that way must be resisting gravity. Take plants, for example. They usually grow upwards, but they only grow upwards because they've got life. If you forget to water them, life diminishes, gravity takes over, and down they go. But I've never yet seen a flying plant. And obviously when man first wanted to fly, he fixed birds' wings on his arms and flapped as hard as he could and didn't really get very far. The reason being that the muscle to weight ratio of a man is very, very different to a bird. And it's just that we're not actually designed for flying. Not normally. So they started to look for a force that was outside of themselves, and the thing that really revolutionised or got them going on flight was not ice, but the internal combustion engine. It was that invention that enabled them to put the power pack into an aeroplane and fly. And suddenly something else happened. The law of gravity was overcome by the law of aerodynamics. Now, just to recap a moment and consider the gravity of our situation, your situation and my situation, that there's a powerful downward force that affects us just like gravity, a force that causes lying, cheating, break up of relationships. And here it is. Sin, the things that we do wrong, the things that we know are wrong and we can't somehow put them right. And they're like a real problem, like gravity. And sometimes we get fed up with it. Think, well, isn't it possible that I could live differently? And we try living a good life and being kind to neighbours and being kind to those who work for us and those we work for. And then you say something or you do something and you think, bother it. I'm still under the influence of this powerful force. And it's a bit like trying to fly. You try as hard as you can and somehow you don't seem to get very far. And just as the inventors of the early airplane had to look outside of themselves and their own strength, so we have to look away from ourselves, and we find that Jesus Christ is the light of the world, and by his death on a cross, the sin problem was transferred onto him. That God, who knows our hearts, knows everything that's wrong with us, transferred the punishment for our sin onto Jesus when he died on the cross. And it means that Jesus truly is the light of the world, the light that shines in the darkness, and the darkness hasn't overcome it. And God enabled him to take the punishment for my sins, and not just for mine, but for the sins of the whole world. Does that mean then that the whole world can come to this new life? Well, there is something that has to happen, because it's like a gift from God. We've already said that we can't pay for our own sin. Jesus Christ has paid for it. But that forgiveness, that has to be accepted by us, so that it becomes a real possibility of something happening. And how does that happen? It means that you and I have to let Christ enter our lives. The wonderful possibility is that it's open to anyone who's willing to turn from their sin and turn and really put their trust in Jesus Christ. And the promise is, Jesus said, If anyone opens the door to me, I'll come in and sup with him, he with me. You've been so kind to us to give us a good meal. Just by, and especially me, who am sort of a stranger, and have come in on this invitation, which is wonderful. The same invitation comes from God, Jesus, to all who put their trust in Jesus Christ and find new life in him.
Well,
Amen.
I